Yo, Metro's back, and today we're going to be looking at something a little different. We're going to be checking out Dota 2. Now, we're not really going to we're not going to play a game, we're not going to do the normal stuff, we're not going to cast a match or anything like that, but what we're going to be doing is, we're going to be looking at how the game differs from other options on the market, other MOBAs, right? Specifically, probably going to look at League of Legends differences the most. Probably the most popular, and I'm sure a lot of the viewers who are already part of Ace have played a lot of League. So we're not going to go too in depth. Just going to cover how the game looks different, plays different, handles different, operates different from other, especially from League of Legends, and hopefully to give you guys a good understanding of why I think this game is going to be a real big contender when it's finally released. The game's only in beta right now, but before we start, I need to say this. We are looking for people to make Dota 2 content. So if somehow you found out about this video and you weren't already aware that we're looking for, directors to make content for Ace, please apply. There's a link in the description. You can fill it out and, show us some of your examples, what you're working with, what other videos you've made, and we would love to get you on. We're looking for people to do all kinds of different stuff. I'm going to talk about a bit more at the end about what different types of content we need, but for now, that's pretty much it. So we're going to get right into the differences and stuff for the game. Okay, so there's a lot to talk about and a lot to cover. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to break all these things up into separate parts, probably make multiple videos showing off the different facets of the game in different ways. But first things first, we're going to talk about what you see when you log into the game, okay? What is going on the main screen, how the game operates in terms of that. The first thing that you'll notice here is, it's definitely, it's got all kinds of stuff here, but what you don't understand probably is that this is actually from the website. If I were to tab out and go to the Dota 2 website, this is exactly what you would see. So this bit here actually allows you to pretty much browse the internet. You can even pop it out. It'll take you right to, the website, stuff like that. Now there's the news that would load if there was news. Anyway, this is taking a while to load, but one way or the other, this is basically taken right off the website. If you go to the website, it's literally the exact same thing. So that's the first thing that's pretty cool. It's pretty much up to date. All the information on Dota2.com is on this site as well. So it's a bit different from League in that respect, as League typically has, you would have to go to the website to see pretty much anything that's been changed. Now, another big difference, the way the game, like the exterior game handles, is that when you play a game, even though this is only beta, apparently everybody, all the champions are already available. Game's going to be completely free to play, just like League, but you don't have to buy champions. They're all here, okay? I'm pretty sure that's going live. It's anyway like that on beta right now, but I'm pretty positive that's going live. If it's not, you can correct me. But either way, that's a really cool thing. Now, the way they're going to make their money is with microtransactions such as this, right? You could buy a Dota 2 beta invite. Well, I don't know why you would want to do that. But anyway, basically these things are skins, right? That's a big difference between this and League. There's no skins for champions. But what there is there's customizable items that you could add to the players, the champions or whatever they're called, heroes that you play in this game. So basically, some nice looking items that make the champion look pretty cool. And they're not too expensive. I don't really know how much a skin costs in League anymore, but I assume they're pretty around the same price. Now you could also get parts of these sets in games by winning games, playing games. You randomly get some of these pieces. So there's that, and then there's other things you could buy, like different voices, right? So that's another thing. This was a thing that was in Han. If this cared to load, what you would see was that there's like announcer packs, and basically whenever you get a kill or anything, something announces that, right? And instead of the default announcer, you can buy different announcers. I think the newest one they brought out was like a pirate guy, like a pirate captain or something like that. So that's pretty cool. They got a lot of cool, customizable stuff that's not skins, and you don't have to buy champions, which is a huge step up from League. If that goes live like this is already going to be way better in terms of the model. But that's that for that part, really. So another big change, another big difference between League of Legends like outside game and this is the way the heroes operate and function. As I already mentioned, all heroes are going to be free on release. 99.9% sure about this. I mean, the game's only in beta, but I don't think they would, resend something like that. Either way, the game has the heroes all here on the page. Once again, this is taken directly from the website, so it's under the Learn tab here. Very similar to League. In League, it has all the champions in one block. You click them, and then there's some options. So let's go ahead and just pick a random one. We'll pick this one here. About 20 minutes later, after it loads, you'll have a list of all the abilities the champion has, base stats, everything important, the bio. If you're a nerd, you want to read the lore, that's completely fine. You can do that, but just get the fuck out of here. I don't want to see that in the video. Anyway, it tells you about the ability. It tells you all 4 of the abilities that they have. You could scroll down a bit, and there'll be a bit more stat info and something that they have in League, which is I think is a really good thing to have in a game. Shows what the abilities look like. So just watch this quick, and you'll be able to see what one of these abilities look like if this loads. So that's probably the worst demonstration of an ability I've ever seen, but one way or the other, it is here. So if it's something you like in League, it is in this game as well. Okay, so we got to talk about something else too now. The game itself isn't vastly different, but there are a few really absurd differences that a League of Legends player would have a long time getting used to. First thing we're going to talk about here is some of the heroes and how they work. Now, for the most part, if you play League of Legends, play any MOBA, most heroes pretty much have 3 main abilities and then an ultimate and a passive or something like that in League, but it's a bit different in this game. For the most part, heroes typically only have those 3 abilities and an ultimate, but there are some that vary very differently. Okay, now this is the character that Twisted Fate is based off of. If you ever played Twisted Fate, you would see the differences, but you would recognize the similarities. Basically, what the guy has is he's got a few abilities that you have to combine to make other abilities. Now, I've never played the guy personally, but when I click on this guy and see all these different options, oh man, like this is huge. This would blow some of the kids who play League of Legends minds. Just their brain would be on the sidewalk. You know what I mean? This is crazy. Now, this isn't the only example of this. There are plenty of different changes in terms of heroes, but the fact that you have this many different options for abilities makes you really have to play the character well. Probably makes us, I'd assume, one of the higher skilled ceiling characters in this game or any game like this. Now, another really big change in the way heroes handle in this game compared to League is that some heroes can control like units outside of their hero. This is a big difference from League of Legends. There is nothing in the game that's even remotely close to this, having to control more than just your hero. In League of Legends, it's literally just your hero, that's it, always, never anything else. In this game, there is, first of all, a courier, which I'll talk about probably in another video, but you have to control that. And then some champions have the option to basically either use units, or there's also a thing in the game that allows you to create clones of yourself. So it's kind of like Shaco's thing, but for the most part, like there's hardly any of this type of thing in League. But this is a really big part of Dota. So I'm just going to show you. This guy's name is Chen, okay, and he could pretty much control a creep. So this guy is commonly played as a jungler because he can control one of the creeps and it'll fight for him. But you have to use it properly. So you basically have to control both him and the creeps that he gets all the time. Okay, so it's not really like Shaco where he just pops his mirror clone thing and it's there for once in a while, or LeBlanc or something like that. This is permanent. There are many abilities like this in this game where you have to control more than just your character at one time. Okay, so it's a big step up in difficulty. There's a lot more of it in this game, and it makes the game and the heroes play a lot harder. It's a lot harder to jungle in this game from what I understand, but once again, that's a topic probably for another video. Now, another real big functional difference between League and Dota is the way matchmaking works. This is a really cool thing, actually, because if you see here, there's different nodes kind of thing, and this essentially is servers in League of Legends. Okay, like in League, you play on EU West, you play on the Nordic, you play on the Brazilian, or you play on the United States server. Okay, that's a lot different in this game, as you could basically choose which server you want to play from inside the game. So if I wanted to queue in the Hong Kong region, I could just pick it. Okay, you go down to regions and you pick the ones you want to queue in. Now, obviously, you know, if you want to queue in ones that people speak your language, you'll want to stick to the languages that the countries that you speak, EU East and West, and maybe some Europe or South America. But if you pick like Russia, Hong Kong, and China, you're likely going to, queue with people who don't speak the language you speak. But one way or the other, it's an option, which is really cool. Doesn't require you to have a new account or change anything about your game. Now, the other big difference is, now there's still co-op bots, which is something that a lot of people had to complain about in League and other games, but I kind of like the idea you get to play against some robots to basically try out new champions and stuff if you want. There's many, many, many more difficulties as well. Goes from passive to unfair. I've never actually played against a bot, but I assume passive means it literally just runs in the lane and stands there. It doesn't even attack or something. I don't even know, but... And then there's unfair, which is like what I can't imagine what that means. Like where they have like triple the health or something. I don't even know. But anyway, there's that option, so you could test yourself in that way if you want. Unfortunately, bot games have always been notorious for the bots just doing whatever the hell they want and not following the traditional metagame. But once again, a video for another topic, I think. Now, what I really want to show here is that there is a few different modes, which is a bit different than League. In League, you got your random pick thing that everybody plays, like everybody and their brother plays, and then you got the draft pick, and then there's ranked. Right? There's 5v5 and the 3v3. There's no 3v3 in this game. There shouldn't be 3v3 in League. It's a terrible idea. You're ruining the game, but it's cool for people who like to play it one way or the other. But so in this game, I don't think there's really a ranked, but basically what you have is all pick, which is anybody can pick from the entire hero pool. There's single draft, which is each player selects a hero from a set of 3 heroes randomly chosen for them. Okay, so that's, you queue into this game, and you get given 3 options, and everybody has to pick from those 3 options, and that's it. So that makes the game a lot harder. It doesn't seem like something that I'd be interested in playing, because I like to play like 1 or 2 heroes all the time. Don't like to really switch things up. Now, the captain's mode is kind of similar to how ranked works in League, but each team is assigned a captain who makes all the selections for their team. So a bit different than ranked in League, obviously, but the captains can also ban heroes from the pool. That's a big similarity, right? But either way, so say I'm the captain and I need this comp. I'm going to make these people play it. So that's different. That's definitely different. And then there's the random draft, where players take turns selecting a hero from a shared pool of 20 random heroes. You will be told when it's your turn to select. So basically, once again, it's kind of like the single draft, only there's a giant pool of 20 heroes, and the 10 people on the team can only choose out of that pool. And you basically, you draw straws who goes first and last, and the last person really only has less than 10 options left by the time they get there. Now, as we mentioned already, another big change is the fact that pretty much everything is given to you with the game that could possibly be in the game when you get the game, when you start playing the game. That kind of eliminates a real big difference between League and Dota's leveling system and progression system. In League of Legends, when you want to play the game, want to level, want to play with your buddies who are doing ranked and stuff, you got to go from 1 to 30. You got to get max level. And that's a grind. That takes a long time. And all the way up, you don't have any of the champions. Okay, so this means you got to level to get experience, and with that you get IP that you can use to buy various things. In League of Legends, you can buy runes, you could place masteries, you get more mastery and rune availabilities as you level, making it a significant advantage to be level 30 when playing a low-level person, obviously. More stats from runes and masteries. Now, that was put in place to customize characters, but I feel that's just let the items be the customization of the characters, right? not the runes and masteries, not the decisions made beforehand, especially when you have to buy the runes, and the max level runes are an enormous sum. Like, you have to play the game so long to be able to get enough IP to buy the best runes you need for every different champion that you would have to play. So it's just not really possible to do ever. I don't like that at all. I don't like being confined to how much IP I've earned because of how many games I've played. Although differences could arise for sure. So in this game, really, there's not much you do. There's leveling, but I'm pretty sure it's just arbitrary. It tracks your wins, and you get things called battle points, which, from what I understand, are wholly unexchangeable. You just use the battle. The battle points are there. Shows you how much, how progressed you are through the level, and there's no real progression. You don't need to actually, level up to be able to get new champions, new runes. You don't need that to compete, which I think is a great way that they're going to get people to play this game who, aren't necessarily interested in playing it long term, but want to give it a go every once in a while, which is kind of what I do. So that's a big difference, and I think wholly it's a great idea for a game like this. So that's that, really. If you weren't following along, this is basically the outside differences of the game, the way everything that happens before you start a game. There's a lot of big differences, though. Hopefully, after you watch the video, you understand that. It's certainly not the way League is, and you have to understand a bit more before you could even start playing the game. But once you do, there's a lot more tools, a lot different tools, that's for sure, to use for your advantage. I definitely like the way the website is integrated into the main page. The character lists are integrated as well, and the way that you could play cross-realm without having to have two different sub-clients or accounts or anything like that. So that's it for this video. I definitely plan on doing another video where I show playing the game and how it's different, what happens when you actually enter the game, and then probably some different, some metagame differences, some more in-depth things. But one way or the other, this video is definitely to promote the game, to help, if you've never seen the game, never seen anything about the game, never even heard of the game, and you play League of Legends a lot, you might want to check this out. It's certainly not the exact same game, okay? So there's going to be some differences. You might like this better, you might like this a lot less. But one way or the other, I think it's a good game, and it's definitely going to be, it's probably going to be out sometime 2013, and it's definitely going to be a fierce competitor in the mobile market. There's already a lot of tournaments and high-rated play going on. But either way, take this last opportunity here to invite you guys, if you guys know people who make Dota content for YouTube, know people who are interested in playing this game competitively, casting at a high level, casting games, making guides like we have for League, stuff like that, let me know. You got to get them to apply. You can talk about it in the comment section if you want, but we definitely need more people covering this game. It's going to be a huge mainstay in the mobile market very shortly, and when it is, we're going to need people to make the money. You know what I mean? Hell, if you can get on board now while the game's still in beta, think about big games like how League of Legends, grew since beta, and World of Warcraft, stuff like that. So if you have interest, people who are interested, let us know. Have a go at the application. It's in the description. Otherwise, I will see you guys in the next one.